Yes, I need your attention. I need your attention to see what's going on here. Justice.
A church service in Western Cape, South Africa was interrupted by a group of robbers. They basically audacious walked right up to the front and they politely told the congregants that they were robbers and they had come to rob them. They wiped.
What is the plan? What is the plan for the 1st of July when we wake up after the March on March? My name is Stephen Mabugana, born in Limpopo, grew up in KZN, started a factory somewhat 8 years ago.
Most shopkeepers from countries like Ethiopia, Somalia, and other parts of Africa have closed their businesses in anticipation of looting.
Well, what kind of damage has this caused to Brand South Africa?
Thank you, Simpiwe.
Guys, something is currently happening in South Africa. South Africans are now fighting themselves. Some of them are now robbing themselves because a lot of stores have closed down in South Africa that made a lot of these South Africans not to have their jobs. You know, these shops that are owned by foreigners employed some South Africans in their, in their businesses. So right now they have resorted to complain. They are complaining that shops have been closed down, that there is nowhere to get things to eat, that there is no job for them anymore ever since they chased away Nigerians, Ghanaians, Malawians, Somalians, Ethiopians out of their country, that a lot of things are beginning to happen to them. I'm going to be sharing a couple of videos with you all to watch. As you're watching, do so to like, share, and subscribe.
Yes, I need your attention. I need your attention to see what's going on here. Justice. .9999999 of business people who were doing business in South Africa, they are foreigners. Now I understand this, because there is a lot of empty shops, a lot of closed shops, which shows that the foreigners, they are the one who are doing business in your country. Now see how problem you are. Now see how lazy you are. More than 90% for those who were doing business in South Africa were foreigners. Now they have gone. Places have closed. Ama mall closed. Mass plaza shop closed. Mass supermarket closed. And you are still matching for what? You are supposed now to go to start business. Go to those owners of those shops, pay for rent, then start businesses as soon as possible. Like the foreigners, the way they were doing. Start to do that. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Just wasting your time. Go to start to do business. Go to start to do business. Foreigners, they have gone now. Hello. Ciao. They have gone. They have gone. And the Ama shop are empty. No one is there. Congratulations to foreigners who are doing business in South Africa.
We are here to warn you. Next time when we come, it has to be closure. South Africans must run the shops. You must also go run shops in the informal market in your own country. South Africa has DSTV there in Ghana. They've employed, qualified, educated.
A church service in Western Cape, South Africa was interrupted by a group of robbers. They basically audacious walked right up to the front and they politely told the congregants that they were robbers and they had come to rob them. They wiped the whole churchgoers clean. They robbed all their money. They stole the church equipment, including all the microphones and everything, and then they walked right out. South Africa is very quickly crowning itself as the capital of robbers. They have robbed and stolen from other Africans and they have kicked them out of the country. And now the whole world is watching you as you just continue. And now I think this is a complete breakdown from the trauma of being colonized. But I've seen people on my videos saying that they love Afrikaners. Those are their white people. We're just wishing you luck and just, this is the gift that gives giving. A church service in Western Cape, South Africa was interrupted by a group of robbers. They basically audacious walked right up to the front and they politely told the congregants that they were robbers and they had come to rob them. They wiped the whole churchgoers clean. They robbed all their money. They stole the church equipment, including all the microphones and everything, and then they walked right out. South Africa is very quickly crowning itself as the capital of robbers. They have robbed and stolen from other Africans and they have kicked them out of the country. And now the whole world is watching you as you just continue. And now I think this is a complete breakdown from the trauma of being colonized. But I've seen people on my videos saying that they love Afrikaners. Those are their white people. We're just wishing you luck and just, this is the gift that gives giving.
Well, what kind of damage has this caused to Brand South Africa?
Thank you, Simpiwe, and good evening to your viewers. The standing of South Africa internationally from the perspective of the United Nations, the African Union, and a number of African countries, including Ghana, Nigeria, as well as others such as Kenya and other local SADC countries. There is a concern that South Africa has lost control of its law enforcement, and vigilantism is allowing people to do duties of the state completely outside the law, targeting people that are believed to be foreign nationals by South Africans.
Mm-hmm. Now, will the deployment of envoys then assist in addressing, what's becoming a problem for South Africa on the international stage?
No, that is not very relevant because some of the complaints are actually quite detailed in the sense that they track this xenophobic violence, and we must not beat about the bush. What is disturbing the governments of foreign countries, African countries, is the violence, the manhandling, the grabbing, the touching, and the inspection of Africans by private citizens who are not authorized to do that. It has been going on since December 1994, until today. There are centers, for instance, at Wits University, such as Xenophobic Watch, that study this violence. So this violence cannot be studied over such a long period of time, since 1994, if it is not happening. So it is actually happening. Xenophobic violence against Africans in South Africa is progressing. And that is the problem that needs to be resolved. Not just the attitude of South Africans towards foreigners, but the physical actions that South Africans take against specific people that they believe are illegal or undocumented foreigners, which has got nothing to do with a private citizen.
What is the plan? What is the plan for the 1st of July, when we wake up after the March on March? My name is Jacinta, born in Limpopo, grew up in KZN. Started a factory somewhat 8 years ago from zero, no government funding, with these two hands. And when we started, we knew very little of textile. But one thing I knew is that it needs people. Cut a long story short, in 8 years, it had grown to 350 staff. I had to literally, bit by bit, start closing down simply because of KZN and its hostility, its Afrophobia, its xenophobic crime, and the list goes on. Now, I want to ask, what is the plan when we wake up on the 1st of July? So I'm sure that the leaders sat and planned and said, okay, this is what we're going to achieve right up till the end of this month. So we want foreigners to leave. Well done, they're leaving. We want to gain attention. Well done, international everywhere. Investors are freezing. Congratulations. People are hurt. People are getting killed. Looting has started. disruptions and talks, instability. The violence is on the increase. I've been called kwere kwere, I've been called zai zai. Before it wasn't spoken of. Now, after I've started talking, I'm just getting thrown all of these names. And I'm South African. I'm sure I'm going to be called a clever darky. And I'm sure whilst some are listening to this here, they're just infuriated the fact that I'm speaking the truth. And all the focus will be on everything else but the economy, but the man on the street, but umama who's got the back rooms that she rents out to foreigners or non-foreigners. It really doesn't matter. In Hammersdale, we had the factory. We're manufacturing. We're not the only manufacturers. We were trying to revive the area. There are 3 large factories, by the way, that are in Hammersdale, employing foreigners and local. If you disrupt the whole thing of the foreigner community, it sends a shockwave even to the man who has a documentation because of the way that you are treating people. If a foreigner can get whipped in front of a police officer, what would you do? They call him, he doesn't have documentation, illegal. He must be locked up and taken back. What do you think happens to his brother who managed to get documentation? If you were overseas in another country and 2 of you went and your brother is getting whipped, you are fine with documentation, how will it affect you? Will you wake up and go to work the next day? Also knowing that in between there's all of these vigilantes, all of these guys taking issues into their own hands, the crime in Hammersdale, the rape in Hammersdale, child-on-child rapes, gogos being raped. That is the environment I was in, but I stuck it out for all of these years. I had 350 staff, trying my best to look after them. I'll be called all the names. There is more white people that can speak Venda, then there would be Zulus that can speak Venda. Daar is meeste wit mense wat Venda kan praat, dan there is van mense wat Zulu is. And you can call them whatever you want, but die wit mense het met swart mense gewerk. En hulle het gesien om te werk, ons moet leer elke taal. Die Venda man het Afrikaans geleer, soos ek. En die Afrikaan boer het Venda geleer. Maybe it was not 100%, but he did it. I'm yet to meet a Zulu person who can speak Venda. But that is not my focus. I'm just trying to show you how I had come and tried to adapt. Namanje Zulu sami, nasizwa ukuthi hayi, lo muntu awena umZulu. But la ngiyazama. Ngasifunda kuphi? Ngasifunda la eHammersdale. Ngoba ngisebenza nabantu ekhaya. Sebenza namaVenda, sebenza nabaZulu, sebenza namaXhosa. Bonke abantu balapha. Angithi ngifuna ukuthi ngikhulume iZulu. Angiwona umZulu. But iZulu ngiyasikhuluma ngiyazama. Afrikaans ngiyasikhuluma ngiyazama. Venda ngiyasikhuluma naso. English nakhona. Ngiyasikhuluma ngiyazama. Nangixasha abantu bakho. Indeni, bosisi, bobhuti, bomalume bala eHammersdale. Manje ngibiza kwere kwere. I used to invest, my wage bill would be around 1.2 million into Hammersdale. You cannot go and shake up the industry, storm into factories, do as you please, and then still think that industry will survive. What is your plan? So if you look at the RCTFL master plan, I don't even know if you know about it, but in there it says that local chain stores are now committed. They have committed to buying locally. All of these retailers, the big ones. In Hammersdale, you've got Mr. Price, you've got Ackermans, you've got Pep. Some of the biggest warehouses in the country, I think in the continent as well, with Pep that's recently been built. That is billions and billions of investors that have come in there. And then we go and do this kind of stuff. What was your plan? What's the plan? How are you going to come back to us? Because I get I'm South African. I want to employ local. I want to employ your people. What are you going to come and tell me? What do we do, right? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is how we're going to gain the confidence from the retailers. All that money that I invested in building this because I wanted to get to the retailers level. When Dudula was happening, you can call it official Dudula, unofficial Dudula, whatever it was xenophobic. I had gone through the parts, I'd gone to the retailers, we had done the training, we had been onboarded, we are fixing the foreigner documentation issue, we're fixing the minimum wage issue, bargaining council. I had 150 babies. Mom comes to work, you take your baby, leave them in the crèche, and then you come and work. You want to bond with you want to breastfeed your baby, you can do anything. Because I was trying to raise a whole industry that will not only just survive, but will thrive. That when this kid grows up with my child, and they are now working together as a team in 20 years' time, that we have upskilled, upgraded, and we are going and leading industries in the textile space internationally. And I lost all of that. That had potential to grow our human capital by 500, up to 500. My gosh, I get goosebumps just thinking about it. And we lost that because when the customer came back, the factory was so disrupted. And I was not pushing out the volume. So to take out 41,000 units in 46 hours of boxer shorts, 36,000 units of 5-pocket denim, There's no other. Never mind, I know I was the largest black-owned factory, but there's very few denim factories, a handful, and I was one of them. And I was pumping out the volumes because I'd invested time. I'd invested hours and hours and hours, losing and losing, but I kept on and I kept on because I had faith in my black people. I had faith in this country. What's your plan? What are you going to come and tell us? The president, you could say whatever you want to say. The president, wafika ne? Yokhuluma. Samthanda simthandi. But he came with a plan. He told us a plan. So, my fellow leaders in this March on March, what is your plan? We're listening.
So those people that collected those Ghanaian stores, those ladies that were dancing, I heard that they could not handle the businesses. They closed down the stores. They could not even pay workers. That is the latest update, guys. It is not all about taking over businesses in South Africa, telling foreigners to close down their stores. Can you handle the business? Can you handle the business? Do you have the business idea? Do you know how to run it? Do you know where they get their stuffs from? Do you know where they buy their goods from? Can you go through all those stress? Can you go through all those, it's not easy to run a business. Can you? Well, guys, you see what is happening in South Africa. A lot of businesses have closed down. South Africans are complaining. It's a lot for them right now. Please say a word of prayer for South Africans and their economy.